So picture this, in 2021, the crypto market just explodes, right? We're talking a massive $3 trillion. And then, poof, just a few months later, 2/3 of that value is gone, just completely wiped out. It's this insane roller coaster that's at the very heart of the book, Blockchain Bubble or Revolution. And it poses the one question everyone's asking. Is this thing the future, or is it just the biggest bubble we've ever seen? Let's dive in and figure it out.
I mean, listen to this. On one side, you've got experts screaming, it's a scam. But on the other, you have people saying it's the most important invention since the internet. That's not just some academic debate, you know? That's billions of dollars. And for a lot of folks, their entire life savings are on the line. The book doesn't shy away from this fight. It jumps right into the middle of it. And its whole goal is to give you the framework to figure out who's right. And let's be honest, trying to understand this stuff can feel impossible. It's all hype, super technical jargon. How are you supposed to know what's real and what's just noise? Well, that's the exact problem the authors tackle. And these aren't just random writers. We're talking about product managers from Google, Microsoft, and Facebook. So they come at this from a place of really understanding tech, and they lay out this incredibly clear, balanced analysis to help you make up your own mind.
Okay, so let's get into the core framework they use to demystify all this. Because really, before you can even touch that bubble or revolution question, you got to know how the engine works, right? And the authors do a brilliant job of this. They break it down into 3 basic principles. And trust me, once you get these, everything else just clicks into place.
First up, decentralization. So think about it like this. Instead of one big bank holding the master book of all transactions, imagine everyone has a copy of that book. It's shared across a massive network of computers. What does that mean? Well, there's no single person or company in charge. No one can just shut it down or change the rules on you.
Next, we have transparency. The book explains it like a digital public square, where every single transaction is out in the open for anyone to see. And this is a huge deal, because it means you don't have to trust a middleman, like a bank, to tell you what happened. You can literally go and check the record for yourself. It's a shift from trusting to verifying.
And the third piece of the puzzle is immutability. It's a fancy word, but the idea is pretty simple. Each block of transactions is digitally changed to the one before it. So if someone wanted to go back and secretly change something, well, they couldn't. They'd have to break that chain and then rebuild every single link that came after it. And that's basically impossible to do. This is what makes the whole thing tamper-proof.
Okay, I know this all sounds kind of theoretical, right? So let's make it real. The book gives a perfect example. Walmart. They use a blockchain to track their food. Now imagine there's an E. coli outbreak. Before, it could take weeks to figure out where the bad lettuce came from. Weeks! With the blockchain, they can trace that lettuce from the store shelf all the way back to the exact farm it was grown on in seconds. That's not hype. That's those principles we just talked about actually saving lives.
All right, so now that we've got the basics down, let's dig into the really good stuff. I've pulled out what I'm calling the 3 pillars of wisdom from this book. These are the biggest, most valuable, and honestly, most surprising takeaways.
First up, a major reality check.
Here's the most practical tip from the whole book. The blockchain itself might be super secure, but how we connect to it, that's where things get messy. The book is packed with stories of people losing everything, not because the core technology broke, but because of hacks, scams, and simple human error on the apps built on top of the blockchain. It's a huge flashing warning sign. Decentralized definitely does not mean invincible.
Okay, number 2, this one is a total mind-bender.
So the whole idea behind Bitcoin, right, was to get away from governments and big banks. It was this rebellious, anti-establishment thing. But here's the crazy irony the book points out. What if the technology actually ends up making those institutions stronger? Think about it. Central banks are already looking into their own digital currencies built on this tech. The book argues that blockchain could become a tool for more government control, not less. Talk about a plot twist.
And finally, number 3. This is the hidden gem.
Look, everyone's obsessed with crypto prices and finance. But the book says we might be looking in the wrong place for the real revolution. It goes deep into other uses, like digital democracy. Just imagine, for a second, a voting system that's completely transparent, where anyone can check the results and it's impossible to tamper with. That's a world-changing idea, and it shows how this tech could impact way more than just our wallets.
Okay, so we've covered the big ideas, but let's be critical for a moment. Is this book for everyone? Who should pick this up? And maybe more importantly, who should probably skip it?
So let's be super clear. If you want to understand the why behind blockchain, if you want a mental toolkit to cut through the hype, or if you're just fascinated by the history of money and tech, then yes, this book is absolutely for you. But if you're looking for tips on which coin is going to moon next to make you rich, this ain't it. Or if you're a developer who wants to learn how to code a blockchain from scratch, you're going to need a different book. This one is all about the big picture, the strategy, not the nitty-gritty.
All right, so what's the one takeaway you can actually use? Like on Monday morning, what do you do differently?
It's simple, and it's brilliant. It's hidden right there in the title. You need to stop asking if this is a bubble or a revolution and start thinking of it as a bubble and a revolution. Both things are happening at the same time, all mixed together. So the next time you see some crazy crypto headline, just ask yourself 2 questions. 1, is this part of the bubble? Is it just hype and speculation? And 2, is there a real revolution here? Is it actually using the core tech to solve a real problem, the way Walmart is?
So, after all that, the clear explanations, the mind-bending insights, the practical advice, what's the final verdict?
It's a must-read. No question about it. Look, this book won't give you a simple yes or no answer on the future of crypto, but it gives you something way better, the tools to think for yourself. If you're tired of the hype and you genuinely want to understand what's going on with one of the most talked about technologies on the planet, this is the book you need to read.
But that leaves us with a huge question, doesn't it? In the real world, has the crazy, speculative bubble part completely drowned out the revolution part? Or are there still real builders out there quietly using this tech to create something amazing? I'd love to know what you think. Drop a comment below and tell me, is the revolution still alive?